It was supposed to be just another quiet night for Emma. Her parents had gone out of town for the weekend, leaving her alone in their cozy suburban home. At 25, Emma had no problem being by herself. She enjoyed the peace, but something felt off tonight. Maybe it was the stillness in the air, or the way the house creaked more than usual. She brushed it off as her imagination, a result of the horror movies she had foolishly watched earlier. By 11 p.m., Emma was nestled on the couch, scrolling mindlessly through her phone. The soft hum of the TV in the background provided some comfort, filling the eerie silence of the house. Just as she was about to put her phone away and head to bed, she heard it. It was faint, but distinct. Emma froze. Her heart skipped a beat. She strained her ears, hoping it was just her mind playing tricks on her, but there it was again. Emma's pulse quickened. She glanced at the clock. It was midnight. Who would be knocking at this hour? Her parents weren't due back until Monday, and none of her friends lived nearby. Cautiously, she got up and tiptoed to the front door. Peeking through the peephole, she saw nothing. No one was there. The porch was empty, and the street was as still as ever. A chill ran down her spine. Maybe it was a prank, she thought. Kids messing around. She returned to the living room, but she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled deep in her bones. Her fingers trembled as she grabbed her phone to call her parents, just for some reassurance. Before she could dial, the knocking returned. But this time, it came from the back door. Emma's heart pounded in her chest. There was no way someone could have gotten to the back of the house that quickly. She hadn't heard any footsteps, nothing to suggest movement around the house. She tiptoed to the kitchen and stood frozen in front of the back door. The porch light barely illuminated the yard, casting long, eerie shadows. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the door handle, but she didn't open it. The silence was deafening, save for the faint ticking of the clock on the kitchen wall. Just as she began to retreat, the knocks came again, harder this time. Emma gasped, backing away quickly. Whoever or whatever was outside wanted in. Desperately trying to calm herself, she grabbed a kitchen knife. She wasn't about to open the door, but she had to check the windows. She needed to know who was out there. One by one, she checked every window that faced the backyard. Nothing, no movement, no sign of anyone. The yard was empty, but the oppressive feeling of being watched was suffocating her. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her hand. It was a text message from her mom. "We're home. Can you unlock the door?" Emma stared at the screen in confusion. Her parents weren't supposed to be back for 2 more days. She quickly typed back, "You're home, but I don't see you." No reply. Just then, the knocking resumed, louder and more frantic. Emma's breath hitched. The knocks were now coming from all sides of the house: the front door, the back, the windows. She backed into the living room, her hands shaking, clutching the knife tighter. Her phone buzzed again, another text from her mom. "We're right outside, Emma. Let us in." She stared at the message, cold dread filling her stomach. That wasn't her mother texting. Emma's hands shook violently as she called her mom, needing to hear her voice. The phone rang, until finally, her mother picked up. "Hello, Mom," Emma whispered, her voice trembling. "Emma." Her mother's voice was groggy. "What's wrong? Where are you?" "We're still at the hotel, sweetie. What's going on? Is everything okay?" Emma's heart sank. She slowly lowered the phone, her mother's voice fading into the background. Her eyes darted around the room, and she could feel it now, the presence. It was inside. Before she could react, a shadow shifted in the corner of the room. Emma froze, every instinct screaming at her to run, but her body wouldn't move. The knocking had stopped, replaced by an oppressive silence. And then, from behind her, a soft whisper.
"Emma."
She spun around, knife in hand, but there was nothing. Just the suffocating darkness and the sensation that she was no longer alone. Her phone buzzed one last time. A final text lit up the screen.
"We're inside now."